Hey folks, welcome to verifiedinvesting.com. My name is Gareth Soloway, Chief Market Strategist here. Now, in today's video, we're going to look at the Nasdaq 100 at a pivotal, I repeat, pivotal level going into the FOMC decision tomorrow based on technical analysis. So in other words, we've seen the Nasdaq rally up. In fact, today will be its first down day in the last 10 sessions. And interestingly enough, it coincides with the hit of a major parallel trend line. So again, this tells us that going into the Fed decision, we are at this parallel trend line. Will we break out or will we get rejected in the market? Which way will it go? We'll know tomorrow. But let's take a look at the chart and see what we have. This is the Nasdaq 100 chart with no trend lines, right? I always like to start generally with no trend lines with you guys so you can see exactly how I'm coming up with it. Now, what I like to do is I like to find the major pivot highs, right? So for what was the previous all-time high on the Nasdaq 100 prior to the Liberation Day sell-off? And that answer is very crystal clear. This was your high. You can see the high there is just slightly higher than this high. So this high goes back to February of 2025, and it was just ever so slightly higher than the high from December 2024. So let's choose the highest point. That's going to be your mountain top. What we do, we take a trend line, we extend it out, and we extend it out as much as we can. And what we could see here, look at this, guys. This is amazing, is that literally yesterday we came right into this trend line, okay? So we'll zoom in. Look at this, right to that high from August. And then yesterday we tagged the line. Today we opened above, and look, we're selling off and about to close right on or just below the line. Really remarkable stuff here. Now, what's fascinating, and this is something I do normally as a trader, is I look to see, does this line have significance? Meaning that, okay, the trend line in general, it's not just connecting 2 points, but it actually has a third point, which we just hit. And notice how yesterday we hit the line, and today you could have had an update, right? I mean, but except for the trend line was right there, and it stalled it out. Now, again, this is the day before the FOMC decision and the Powell press conference. So what we're looking at here is we have a major level where is it either going to blast higher and break out, or is it going to break to the downside, right? So again, this is literally the charts are showing us, and this is so remarkable. The charts are showing us that we are at a pivotal point on the charts, and that coincides, interestingly enough, with a pivotal period of time with the Fed decision. Okay, which way is it going to go? Okay, so back to the charts we go. Now, what I love to show you guys is that there's a parallel that is associated with this, right? So if we drag this down, look at how, if we take a little arrow tool, you have this low, and this low, all aligning directly below that level, right? That's a beautiful thing right there. All right, so that tells us that there's significance, right? And again, I always like to confirm that my trend lines aren't just, randoms. Once you have a parallel, it reinforces that there's more to that line, right? This line is more significant because it also has significance with a parallel here. And what's even cooler is you can then drag it down even further and go to a secondary level, right? So if we go down here, look at this, guys. Look at this, right? So now we're at a point where we touched it here, okay? Over here, here, and here. And from the other angle, you tagged it at that same place. And so now you have a third parallel line. That's a third parallel line at this point of interest. And then if we erase those, let's bring it down even more. Is there more significance to this level? And we bring it down into this level here. And what we can see again, look at this, guys. This is so cool. So what we see here now is right here, you tag it, all right? And then underneath and underneath. So let's change our arrows around. And we put it right there and right there. And by the way, you could keep doing this and just go down and down, but it just shows you that there is significance on the chart. And again, these are things that I pay attention to when I'm finding my major levels on any chart, right? It could be a crypto, it could be a stock. In this case, it's the Nasdaq 100. It doesn't really matter. The point is, can I confirm with myself, especially I'm building a wall of confidence that the line I'm looking at is significant. So not only is it significant because the Fed decision is going to coincide whether or not we break up or we break down off of this line, and we've gone right to it, like literally right to it. We're going to close today basically right on that line. but then it also shows from those other parallels that it's not just an arbitrary line. It has meaning at other points on the chart. Very cool stuff here, guys. All right, and again, these are little tidbits of knowledge that I parse to you guys because I think it can make us all better investors and traders. And you guys will start to see this. Your eye starts to pick up on this type of thing. Okay, so just to be clear, as we go back to this, this is now a pivotal point. We're right at this upper parallel channel. Does it get rejected? Do we see a drop in the markets to the downside, or does it go to the upside? And again, I would say that by tomorrow afternoon, we will likely know the answer for the question here that I have just posed. Generally, it's resistance until proven otherwise, so you'd favor the downside, but we also can't kind of just ignore the fact that the market is willing to absorb any negativity. At least it has been recently for the last 3-6 months, ever since the low in April. So April, June, July, August, September, so the last 5 months, it's been able to weather every negative headline, right? Slower jobs growth. That's a good news, right? Bad news is good news. Tariff back and forth. So all of these things the market has absorbed. But at some point that could change. And tomorrow will be the first rate cut that the Fed has now done since we've really seen the economy starting to weaken. So on that note, I'm going to bid you farewell, but I wanted to show you this. I wanted to give you guys this information. And again, I will, as always, keep you guys posted with just the charts and data, no BS. You guys have a good one. I'll talk to you soon. Take care.